The cold, sterile glare of the courtroom's fluorescent lights reflected off Harper Calloway's rigid face as she occupied the defendant's chair. The case against her seemed insurmountable. Security cameras had captured her at the scene at the crucial moment. The murder weapon bore her fingerprints. A witness swore to seeing her near Brandon Miller's apartment the night he was killed. Evidence stacked up, layer upon layer, creating an ironclad case with no apparent flaws. Despite her unwavering certainty that she had never been near that apartment on that fateful night, the trial proceeded swiftly, the defense seemingly irrelevant in the face of such overwhelming evidence. Overseeing the prosecution, Inspector Michael Harrington presented a grim, unyielding figure. His face was cold as he repeatedly asserted to the media that the evidence against Harper was conclusive and undeniable. The proceedings felt eerily efficient, moving with a speed that suggested a carefully orchestrated performance. Among the spectators, Harper's former colleague, Grayson Hayes, sat motionless, his eyes sharp yet expressionless on the surface, concealed a brewing storm of disbelief. He simply could not accept that Harper, one of the finest officers he had ever known, a woman who pursued justice with both intellect and empathy, could be a murderer. A sudden, sharp bark ripped through the courtroom's quiet tension. All attention shifted to Rex, Harper's loyal K-9 partner, as an officer attempted to escort him out. Rex refused to budge. His body stiffened, a fierce growl rumbling in his chest, front paws desperately scraping against the floor tiles. His eyes remained locked on Harper, resisting with all his might. It took multiple officers to drag the powerful dog from the room, but even as he thrashed and whined sharply, his gaze never left Harper, a silent plea to hold on. Harper cast one last look at Rex before she was led away, a dull ache blooming in her chest. She didn't fear death, she feared the truth would be buried forever. Following Harper's incarceration, Rex was transferred to a different police unit. Their officers quickly observed a profound change in his behavior. The rigorously trained and disciplined K-9 was now utterly distracted. He ignored commands. His once swift responses vanished. He refused to eat, lying listlessly in a corner of his kennel, eyes fixed on the door, perpetually waiting. Even during training sessions, the exercises he once excelled at held no interest. Reports from the unit soon indicated Rex was no longer fit for active duty. Some suggested reconditioning at a training center or even retirement. But when Grayson Hayes received this information, he immediately offered to adopt Rex. One late afternoon, Grayson visited the training facility. He found Rex lying still, unresponsive, crouching down. Grayson gently placed his hand on the dog's head. "You remember Harper, don't you?" He spoke softly. His words seemed to resonate. Rex whimpered, then sprang towards the door, scratching frantically as if desperate to go out and search. A trainer nearby sighed, shaking his head. "He's been like this ever since. Here's the name Calloway, and he just loses it." Grayson had seen deep loyalty in police dogs, but Rex's behavior felt like something far beyond simple longing. His reaction wasn't just missing Harper, it was a deeper, more profound form of distress. Rex wasn't merely grieving, he was actively waiting, as if expecting her return. In the days following his adoption, Rex's strange behavior intensified. Grayson had hoped to help the dog recover from the shock of losing Harper, but it seemed impossible. Rex wouldn't adapt to his new home, ignoring basic commands he once performed flawlessly. Worse, he stopped eating entirely. Initially, Grayson attributed it to adjustment, but after 2 days with the food bowl untouched, the dog only sitting in a corner, staring blankly at the door, Grayson knew something was seriously wrong. Each time Grayson approached, Rex would let out a soft whine, lowering his head to the floor as if trying to communicate something inexpressible. Grayson tried everything. offering favorite treats, taking him outside, but nothing worked. The situation reached a critical point one night when Rex suddenly growled in the dark. Awakened at midnight by the deep rumble from the living room, Grayson leaped from his bed, instinctively grabbing his gun. Faint streetlight filtered through the curtains, dimly illuminating Rex's sleek black coat. He stood rigid, like a drawn bowstring, eyes locked intensely on the front door. His back was slightly arched, ears erect in absolute alertness. Grayson held his breath, weapon gripped tightly. He moved silently to the window, cautiously pulling back the curtain to peer outside, but saw nothing. The street was deserted, no shadow stirred, yet Rex remained taut, one paw slightly lifted, a clear sign of heightened vigilance. Grayson felt the palpable tension. Though he saw nothing, Rex sensed something beyond human perception. He decided he couldn't ignore this any longer. "Let's go for a walk, buddy. Looks like you've got something you want to tell me." He grabbed the leash, clipping it onto Rex's collar. At the click of the clasp, Rex sprang to his feet. Gone was the sluggishness. He tugged urgently toward the door, whining, as if this was the moment he had been waiting for. Night had draped the city in a quiet, inky blackness, punctuated only by the faint streetlights reflecting on the wet pavement. Grayson walked behind Rex, quickly realizing he wasn't the one leading. Rex was guiding him. As soon as they left the neighborhood, the dog picked up speed, pulling at the leash, his powerful legs driving him forward as if he knew their destination. Grayson struggled to keep up, Rex's strength surprising him. The dog pulled ahead relentlessly, nose constantly sniffing the air. He wasn't wandering, he was following a distinct scent. "Rex, slow down," Grayson muttered, gently tugging the leash. But Rex paid him no mind, his body taut, tail straight, ears erect, focused intently on something ahead. Then Grayson recognized their path, a narrow alley near the crime scene of Brandon Miller, the very man Harper was accused of murdering. Grayson froze, his heart pounding. This couldn't be a coincidence. Harper had been charged with Miller's murder at this exact location, and now, after days of unsettling behavior, Rex had led him back here. He cautiously stepped into the dim alley, flicking on his flashlight, his eyes scanning for anything unusual: scattered trash, old wooden crates, broken glass shards. Nothing stood out. But then, as Rex began scratching at the cement floor near the wall at the end of the alley, Grayson noticed something strange beneath the light. He bent down, picking up a small fragment of material that felt and looked like skin. A chill shot down his spine. It was disturbingly soft, smooth, yet with a slight elasticity. It felt undeniably like human skin. He inhaled sharply, a knot of unease tightening in his chest. It couldn't be real skin, but it was too lifelike. Smooth yet not hard, with just enough give, like some form of biopolymer. He quickly secured the piece for analysis. More than that, a terrifying suspicion began to take root if this was what he thought it was. Harper was truly being framed. Rex still wouldn't leave the spot, his gaze fixed intently where he had dug, as if something more was hidden below. Grayson dug around with his hands but found nothing else. With a sigh, he stood, clutching the synthetic fragment tightly, and pulled Rex out of the alley. While Grayson awaited the analysis results for the strange material fragment, another grim piece of news arrived: a second murder. The victim was Harvey Donovan, a prominent businessman. Grayson sat at his desk, the dim light of his lamp casting faint shadows over the stacked files. A photo of Harvey Donovan's crime scene lay next to the file on Brandon Miller. Grayson's eyes narrowed as he meticulously examined every detail. Everything was eerily similar: the bullet angle, the body position, the seemingly staged nature of the scene. This wasn't merely the work of a killer. It felt like a signature, a deliberate mark left behind. Was it a coincidence or a pattern? Grayson pressed a hand to his temple, feeling an invisible weight pressing down. The police had quickly convicted Harper in Miller's case. Now, as he tried to prove her innocence, another murder occurred in the exact same manner. It couldn't be chance. Someone was deliberately repeating the crime, or worse, the real killer was still at large, free to strike again. Rex lay near the desk, no longer relaxed. His ears were perked, watchful eyes following Grayson's every move. Suddenly, Rex rose, walked to the desk, and began sniffing intently at the photos. A low growl rumbled in his throat, and then, unexpectedly, he nudged one specific photo, a close-up of Harvey Donovan's crime scene. Grayson frowned, bending down to follow Rex's gaze. He gently ran his fingers over the photo surface, scanning every detail. At first glance, the scene depicted a pristine, upscale apartment, unnervingly tidy, with Donovan's body centered in the living room. But as Grayson looked closer, something unusual caught his eye. A small, almost invisible symbol was etched on the wall behind Donovan. It was faint, as if deliberately wiped away, but under the light, Grayson could discern its shape, a triangle with a line bisecting it. He immediately grabbed the Brandon Miller crime scene photo for comparison. His heart leaped as he found the same anomaly, the identical symbol on the wall in Miller's apartment. It wasn't distinct, but upon closer inspection, it was unmistakable. A shiver ran down his spine. This was no coincidence. It was a message. Rex let out a soft bark, as if confirming his discovery. He scratched lightly at the desk edge, his gaze urging Grayson to understand they were dealing with something far larger. The dog had seen this before him, and now Grayson could no longer ignore the truth. Harvey Donovan wasn't just a businessman. He was wealthy, politically connected, and had prior dealings with Brandon Miller before their deaths. But the most crucial question remained: who stood to gain from their demise? Grayson returned to his desk, opened his laptop, and scoured databases for any cases bearing similar symbols. Hours later, sifting through police records yielded no mention of the mark. This solidified his certainty. This wasn't a common symbol. It could be an identifier, a target marker, or the killer's unique signature. He ran the symbol through the police's image analysis system, comparing it to symbols in past cases, but the system returned no matches. Grayson furrowed his brow, feeling like he faced an impenetrable wall. Rex, however, hadn't taken his eyes off the photos. Almost instinctively, Grayson leaned down and gently petted his head. "What have you seen that I haven't?" Rex. Suddenly, a thought struck him. If the symbol isn't in the police database, maybe it's not related to ordinary criminal cases. It could belong to a group, an organization the police have never encountered. Grayson stood abruptly, quickly gathering the documents. He glanced at Rex, still on edge. The dog's senses were sharper than any human's, and Grayson knew his instincts were rarely wrong. Perhaps they had stumbled onto something far more dangerous than he had imagined. He quickly grabbed his phone, scanning his contacts before stopping at a familiar name: Ethan Carter. Ethan was an independent investigative journalist, a man who specialized in uncovering mysteries the police couldn't touch. If anyone knew about these strange symbols, it would be him. Grayson grabbed his coat and left the office, a heavy weight in his chest. If the killer was still out there, it meant Harper was just a pawn in a much larger game. Grayson stepped into the small cafe tucked away in the old district, his meeting point with Ethan Carter. Ethan was well known in investigative journalism circles. He had once been a top reporter, but his career stalled after an investigation that nearly cost him his life, a deep dive into a money laundering ring tied to high-ranking police officials. After that, Ethan became more cautious, avoiding the public eye, but he continued working in the shadows, collecting information for those brave enough to chase the truth. Outside, dim streetlights cast weak glows on the wet pavement from the night's rain, creating a somber, heavy atmosphere, mirroring the weight of the case on Grayson's shoulders. In a secluded corner, Ethan was already waiting, eyes glued to his laptop screen. As Grayson pulled up a chair, the journalist pointed to an open file, his voice low. "We were right. Brandon Miller wasn't just a simple businessman. He had close ties to Black Widow, a professional assassin organization operating in the shadows." Grayson quickly scanned the documents. The data revealed Miller was involved in several illicit financial transactions with unknown organizations. One matched information he'd found about Harvey Donovan, the second victim. In other words, both murders weren't coincidences. Grayson muttered, his expression darkening. "We're dealing with something much bigger than a wrongful conviction." Grayson's gaze remained fixed on Ethan's laptop screen, the numbers, the illicit financial transactions between Brandon Miller and Harvey Donovan, and most chillingly, the direct links to Black Widow, the shadowy assassin organization. Ethan pulled the laptop closer, his fingers moving quickly over the keyboard. Opening another file, he leaned forward, lowering his voice to a whisper, as if fearing they might be overheard. "Do you remember the strange symbol you mentioned finding at the crime scene?" Ethan asked, eyes still on the screen. Grayson nodded. The image of the symbol was burned into his memory. It hadn't appeared just once, but twice, at both Miller's and Donovan's murder scenes. Ethan turned the laptop towards him, displaying a series of images. "I've seen this symbol before. It's not a random mark or a killer's signature. It's part of Black Widow's encryption system. This is how they mark targeted hits, the ones they want to send a message with." Grayson squinted at the images' assassinations across the globe. Seemingly unrelated, but an alarming common thread emerged at each scene. A mark similar to the symbol he had found appeared. A mysterious sign on walls, floors, sometimes carved into objects near the victim. "Damn it," Grayson muttered. "So, these aren't random murders. They're part of a deliberate assassination chain, and they want someone to know." Ethan nodded. "Exactly, but the bigger question is why. Black Widow operates in the shadows, executing professional hits without a trace. These symbols are too blatant for their style. Why would they intentionally leave a mark?" Grayson fell silent, studying the images. Something wasn't right. If Black Widow truly wanted to hide their presence, they wouldn't leave such obvious symbols. More importantly, the police hadn't recognized them. A chilling thought flashed through his mind. He clenched his fist on the table, his voice dropping. The police reports never mentioned this symbol. No one in the department recognized it or included it in the official files. But I've seen it twice. And if I noticed it, someone else surely has too. Ethan grew quiet, taking a sip of coffee, his sharp eyes seeming to look past the obvious. "You mean someone within the police department knows about these symbols, but is ignoring it? Or worse," Grayson gritted his teeth, "someone in the department is working for Black Widow." A heavy silence descended. If Grayson was right, they weren't just facing a shadowy assassin group, they were also up against a traitor within the police force itself. What about the strange material Rex led me to? Could that be connected? Grayson pressed. Ethan examined the material again. It was incredibly soft to the touch, unlike any plastic or silicone he'd encountered. Under light, its surface reflected strangely. Not glossy, not matty, but something in between. A seemingly living material with elasticity similar to human skin. A gentle squeeze left tiny folds that quickly disappeared. Ethan handed Grayson the analysis report for the material fragment. It was identified as an advanced biopolymer, a blend of synthetic tissue and a gel capable of mimicking human skin temperature and texture. This technology was far too sophisticated for the mainstream market, a cutting-edge product. But what truly chilled Grayson was the forensic expert's conclusion. This material not only simulated human skin, but could also be programmed to adapt to body temperature, making it undetectable even by touch. Used as a mask, the wearer could appear to be an exact replica of anyone. This led to a terrifying theory: someone had used this technology to create a counterfeit Harper. That explained why security cameras recorded a perfect image of her at the crime scene. This wasn't a random frame-up. It was a meticulously planned operation utilizing technology far beyond a lone individual's reach. But one question lingered: Harper's fingerprints on the murder weapon. If her prints were stolen and forged, the culprit must have been incredibly close to her. This realization sent a cold shiver down both Grayson's and Ethan's spines. Back home after the meeting, Grayson stood at his apartment door, clutching the envelope he'd found in his mailbox that morning. No return address, just a simple paper with bold, cold words. "Stop now while you still can. If not, your dog will be the first to die." His gaze immediately fell to Rex, the K9 still faithfully seated at his feet, looking up with loyal eyes as if sensing something was amiss. His black fur gleamed in the morning light. His sturdy frame appeared untouched. A cold shiver traced Grayson's spine. They hadn't struck yet, but the letter confirmed they knew exactly where his investigation stood and intended to send a clear warning: back off, or face consequences. Soon after, news from the prison arrived. Harper Calloway's execution date had been suddenly expedited. Normally, she'd have time for appeals, but a high-level order had intervened, drastically shortening procedures. No specific reason was given, just a brief announcement that her execution would occur within the next 10 days. Grayson tossed the letter onto the table, his eyes darkening. There was no doubt now someone was manipulating the entire system from the shadows. They didn't just want to silence Harper, they were desperate to bury this case permanently. He glanced at Rex, still quietly beside him, but with ears perked, body taut, sensing his master's tension. Everything was spiraling out of control, and Grayson knew time was running out. Mist hung thick in the night air, streetlights casting faint, elongated streaks on the damp road. Since receiving the threatening letter, Grayson had pursued every potential lead connecting back to the forces behind Harper's case, but each path led to a dead end. The feeling of being watched intensified, yet no tangible signs of who was pulling the strings in the shadows appeared. To clear his head, he decided to walk Rex. It began as a simple stroll around the block, but soon, Rex acted strangely. He tugged at the leash, ears erect, heading straight for a familiar alley, the same one where they had found the strange material, this time without hesitation from Grayson. Rex bolted forward, digging frantically through dirt and debris on the concrete, as if sensing something crucial. Under the flashlight beam, hidden among the refuse, Grayson saw it, a black leather glove covered in dust and dark, dried red stains. The moment he picked it up, he recognized the bloodstains. His heart hammered. This wasn't in the case files. Someone had deliberately hidden it. If this was a crucial piece of overlooked evidence, it could completely shift the case and prove Harper's innocence. Grayson quickly bagged it, his gaze fixed on Rex, who remained still, eyes sharp and fixed on the shadows, as if anticipating something. The forensic lab confirmed the blood on the glove wasn't Harper's, but what truly stunned Grayson was the DNA sample's identity. A name flashed on the screen: Jonas Kincaid, a professional hitman once wanted nationwide for a series of calculated assassinations. Even more striking, Kincaid's file was linked to a clandestine organization Grayson had heard whispers of: Black Widow. The revelation hit Grayson like a physical blow. If the blood on the glove belonged to Kincaid, he had been at the scene of Brandon Miller's murder. And if Kincaid was the actual killer, Harper had clearly been framed. Grayson quickly copied the full lab results, condensed the files, and left the lab. He needed to deliver this evidence to Detective Michael Harrington, the officer who had overseen Harper's case. If this was a conspiracy to frame her, the police needed to intervene immediately. Michael Harrington received the file with an unreadable expression in his softly lit office, where files were stacked almost too neatly. Harrington opened the file, scanning its contents quickly. "Are you certain about these results?" His voice was deep, devoid of surprise or emotion. "I don't bring you unverified evidence," Grayson replied firmly. If Kincaid was there, then Harper was framed. Harrington leaned back, tapping his fingers lightly on his desk. "Do you understand what you're getting involved in?" Hayes Grayson met his gaze directly. "I know exactly what I'm up against, and I know someone in the system is covering up the truth." A heavy silence settled, broken only by the clock's ticking. Unexpectedly, Harrington closed the file and set it aside. "I'll look into it. No affirmation, no guarantee." His answer was suspiciously vague. Grayson clenched his fists, unease churning within him. But there was nothing more to do but leave, trusting the evidence was in the right hands. What Grayson didn't know was that the moment the door closed behind him, Harrington took out a lighter and set the corner of the file ablaze. The small flames spread rapidly, consuming the pages containing the truth Grayson had risked everything for. The evidence was destroyed. Harrington was the puppet master of the city's darkest secrets. No one knew precisely when his ties to the underworld began, but hidden financial trails and offshore accounts, tangled connections with shady politicians and businessmen, revealed an undeniable truth: he was a loyal asset of Black Widow, the infamous assassin organization. Harrington wasn't just covering up a murder. He was manipulating evidence, twisting cases, and making Harper a scapegoat to protect an even darker secret. Brandon Miller and Harvey Donovan weren't random victims. They were former Black Widow associates, eventually liquidated by the organization. And Harrington, leveraging his power, ensured these executions remained hidden. He had cleaned up Black Widow's messes countless times, but Harper's case was becoming dangerously complicated. The overlooked clues, the growing suspicions, and now Grayson digging relentlessly. Finding the blood-stained glove could be the fatal blow to his control. But Harrington wasn't easily defeated. He knew how to erase tracks and was ready to silence anyone who challenged him. Grayson walked slowly along the sidewalk, hands deep in his coat pockets, head slightly bowed to avoid casual glances. A cold breeze carried the scent of recent rain, but it couldn't dispel the heavy feeling in his chest. Delivering the evidence wasn't just about uncovering truth, it was a test. If Harrington was honest, he'd help clear Harper's name. If he was the shadow manipulator, the evidence would vanish, confirming the danger. Rex walked close by, stepping with steady caution. The dog was no longer tense like in Harrington's office, but his ears remained alert, scanning every sound. Throughout the investigation, Rex had reacted unusually to things others couldn't sense. As the truth drew closer, Grayson trusted Rex's instincts would warn him. Suddenly, his phone vibrated. "Ethan, what the hell are you doing? You just put yourself in the crosshairs." Grayson checked the screen, lips tight. He typed a brief reply. "I need to know if he's the inside man." Seconds later, the phone rang. Ethan, never one to stay calm when worried, was urgent, almost panicked. "Do you realize what you've done?" Ethan nearly hissed. "If Harrington is the inside man, he won't let you walk out of there alive." "I know," Grayson replied simply. You know, and you still did it. Do you understand this isn't a game Black Widow kills people just for getting in their way? If Harrington's one of them, how much time do you think you have? Grayson fell silent, looking down at Rex. The dog's sharp eyes scanned their surroundings. Nobody understood the survival instinct better than a working dog. And if Rex hadn't barked or shown alarm, it meant they had some time. But how much an hour, a day? They knew from the start. Grayson's voice was low. On the other end, Ethan paused. What do you mean? Since I started digging, someone's been watching me. The threats, the shadows on the street, Rex's reactions. They didn't wait until I gave Harrington the file to know. They've known for a long time. Grayson exhaled. I need to be sure. Ethan, if Harrington is the inside man, he'll make a move the moment he gets the file, and I'll know how. Grayson stopped walking. By watching the ones who come for me first. Rex suddenly halted, tensing, ears upright, eyes fixed on a nearby parked car. Windows tinted, but Grayson felt an intense gaze from within. A chill ran down his spine. Without another word, he tightened Rex's leash and steered quickly toward a nearby alley. If they were being watched, he wouldn't give them an easy shot. Meanwhile, in Harrington's office, darkness prevailed, save for the small flame consuming the file on the desk. Michael Harrington sat back, watching the pages burn, words turning to ash. He wasn't rushed or worried. Everything unfolded as predicted. Grayson Hayes got too close. The desk phone vibrated. An unknown number. Harrington picked up. He's suspicious, a low voice said. I know, Harrington replied, but it no longer matters. A brief silence. What's the next step? Harrington stared at the ashes. His eyes were cold. Eliminate him! Under the city's dim streetlights, Grayson drove cautiously on a deserted road, fingers gripping the steering wheel. Since adopting Rex, he'd grown accustomed to being followed. But this unease was deeper. The evidence they'd found wasn't just a clue. It was a direct challenge to Black Widow, a notorious organization with powerful protectors inside the system. Grayson wasn't alone. In the passenger seat, Rex sat alert, ears perked, sharp gaze fixed ahead, sensing danger. Tension filled the car, broken only by the engine's hum. Then, a strange noise shattered the silence. A black SUV accelerated from behind. Grayson knew instantly something was wrong. The SUV's window slid down, revealing a gun barrel. Shit, he muttered, stomping the accelerator. But it was too late. A spray of bullets tore through the rear window, glass shards scattering. Rex reacted instantly, ducking low, but his eyes remained fixed on the SUV. Grayson wrenched the wheel, the car tilting as he swerved into a narrow alley. But the pursuers didn't let up, following close, firing again. Bullets sparked on the pavement inches from the car. With no options left, Grayson took a sharp turn onto a narrower side street, hoping to lose them. But before he could gain speed, the SUV accelerated, closing the gap with a deafening screech of tires. Grayson knew being trapped meant death for both him and Rex. Then, something unexpected happened. Rex, without hesitation, leaped onto the passenger seat, lunging towards the steering wheel. In that brief moment, Grayson understood. He gritted his teeth and spun the wheel in the direction Rex pushed. The car swerved sharply, forcing the SUV onto the road shoulder, but Rex didn't stop. He lunged towards the window, growling fiercely, daring the enemy closer. The person in the SUV hesitated for a second. Just 1 second. It was enough. Grayson slammed the brakes. The car slid, creating space for him to twist the wheel and slip into an even narrower alley. But before they fully escaped, a bullet ripped through the air, grazing Rex's back. The dog's pained yelp echoed. "Rex!" Grayson shouted, eyes wide as Rex swayed. But despite the pain, he stood firm, eyes gleaming with determination. No time to check the wound. Grayson tightened his grip, focused on escaping the alley. Behind them, tires screeched. They hadn't given up. Grayson floored the accelerator. At a fork, boom. Instead of continuing, he killed the headlights for steering sharply into an abandoned parking lot. The car slid silently into shadows among old vehicles. Grayson cut the engine, holding his breath. The SUV sped past, oblivious. Only when the enemy engine faded did Grayson exhale. He looked at Rex, who panted heavily but with sharp eyes. A trail of blood ran down his leg, but the wound wasn't deep. "Well done, old friend," Grayson whispered, hand on Rex's head, feeling his strong breath. "We need a vet. Now." "You're a tough dog. Old friend," Grayson muttered, carefully placing Rex in the back seat. He checked the wound to graze across the front shoulder. Not deep, but bleeding. It needed stitches or wrist infection. Rex looked at him, showing no pain or fear, just panting, ears still perked, vigilant. Grayson started the car, driving from the deserted lot with one thought: get Rex to the vet. The dog's breathing was steady but heavy. His thick coat was stained with blood, a faint red streak on jet black fur. Grayson felt the tension in Rex's muscles, taut beneath the fur, still ready to fight. His paws trembled slightly, but dark brown eyes remained alert, unwilling to stop or give up. Grayson silently clenched his fists, admiring his resilience. Every instinct urged immediate vet care. But what hurt most was Rex's gaze, not pain, not fear, but sheer determination. For Rex, it wasn't about the wound, but the unfinished mission, the search for Harper. He drove faster than usual, fingers tight on the wheel, mind a whirlwind of worry and anger. If Rex hadn't charged at the enemy today, they'd both be dead. But those people didn't care. They fired without hesitation, ready to kill anyone close to the truth. Now Rex, the most loyal dog he knew, was the first to pay. The thought made Grayson grit his teeth, eyes dark. The car stopped at a small veterinary clinic. Grayson knew well, trusting the vet, Lisa, who'd worked with police before. As he carried Rex in, Lisa, cleaning up after surgery, saw Rex and her eyes widened. Without a word, she directed him to the examination table. Grayson gently placed Rex down, hand instinctively brushing his head. Despite the injury, he was incredibly calm, only breathing heavily, ears perked. Listening, Lisa examined the wound, her skilled hands quick but careful. "Bullet grazed, front shoulder," she said, serious. "Luckily, no bone or vital organ damage, but the muscle's torn. Needs surgery and stitches, or infection?" Grayson nodded, eyes on Rex. The dog lay still, but Grayson felt the tension in every breath. Lisa continued checking, gently running hands over Rex, ensuring no other injuries. "Strong dog," she muttered, "but no matter how strong, he needs care." Grayson's lips curved briefly, but it didn't hide his concern. "I know." He sat by Rex, hand on his back, feeling his warmth. Memories surfaced, Harper training Rex, commanding him with just a look, a gesture. Rex understood Harper like no one else. Their bond was more than handler and K9. It was absolute trust, irreplaceable. Now Harper wasn't there, but Rex kept searching, never giving up. He hadn't forgotten Harper. Lisa prepared a mild anesthetic, injecting Rex's leg to stitch the wound. Before his eyes closed, Rex looked at Grayson calmly, as if to say, "I'm fine, don't worry." Grayson sighed, hand gently brushing his head again. You're really stubborn, old friend. The surgery took about 45 minutes. Lisa worked quickly, stitches precise. Grayson stayed the whole time, never leaving. He'd seen too many fall in his line of work, but seeing Rex wounded on the table, helplessness and anger surged stronger than ever. When it was over, Lisa removed her gloves. Did everything I could. Wound needs time. No heavy movement for a week. Grayson nodded, eyes on Rex, who slowly roused from anesthesia. Breathing steadied, eyes opened slowly, sluggish but aware. Grayson bent, gently touching his head. You'll be okay. Rex shifted, trying to move, wincing at the wound. But instead of weakness, he lightly licked Grayson's hand, as if reassuring him. Lisa watched, sighing. You won't stop. Will you? Grayson looked at her, gaze colder. I can't. Harper's still in prison, and they won't stop until everything's exposed. Lisa was silent, then nodded. Stay safe. Don't let him get hurt again. Grayson lowered his head, carefully lifting Rex. His arm was steady, but a storm raged inside. He'd been warned Rex would be killed if he continued. Now it was reality. But if they thought this would stop him, they were wrong. He left the clinic fast, heading to the car, opening the door, placing Rex in the back. The dog was more alert but needed rest. Grayson sighed, looking up at the starry sky, eyes gleaming with resolve. We can't stop yet, old friend. Under the dim light of the makeshift office, Grayson sat quietly, eyes fixed on scattered papers. Lines of text and numbers coalesced into a terrifying image, a vast, hidden network of corruption, manipulating Harper's case and many others. Ethan sat opposite, fingers flying over his laptop, tracing unearthed financial transactions, unexplained sums, offshore accounts, names recurring on recipient lists, all leading to a horrifying truth. Ethan looked up, voice low but tense. We're not dealing with a personal attack. This is a professional killing system run by people with real power, and at its head is Deputy Chief of Police Richard Vaughn. Grayson wasn't surprised. Vaughn's name appeared too often, but his influence enraged Grayson, a man sworn to justice, heading a hitman organization. Money transfers to Vaughn's accounts always preceded or followed assassinations, masked as funding or investments in shady ventures. This explained Black Widow's long, undetected operation. They weren't just hired killers. They were part of a larger, powerful machinery covering for them. Grayson clenched the paper, eyes darkening. He's not just part of it, he's at the top. Ethan nodded, sifting through the list of involved individuals. But Vaughn isn't alone. He needs a system. That's where people like Michael Harrington come in. Detective Michael Harrington, who oversaw Harper's case, who declared the evidence undeniable. He manipulated everything, ensuring no one found flaws. Now, he was clearly listed among Black Widow's recipients. Anger surged as Grayson remembered handing Harrington the bloody glove. He'd believed such undeniable evidence would reopen the case. Now, Harrington had undoubtedly destroyed it, unable to let anything impede Vaughn. Covering up the case at great lengths, Ethan slid a forensic report across, voice serious. But there's something he doesn't know. We still have a piece of the glove. Grayson stared at the report. Before giving Harrington the evidence, he'd cut a small piece for an independent lab. Results confirmed his suspicion blood belonged to a fugitive murderer linked to Black Widow. This proved Harper's case was staged and was a crucial link exposing the system. Grayson inhaled deeply, hand tightening until knuckles paled. Harrington thinks he wiped all traces, but he doesn't know we have evidence. Ethan looked steadily, hesitation in his gaze. What are you going to do? Grayson didn't answer. He looked at Rex, lying calmly, eyes sharp, watching. Without realizing it, Grayson recalled all the times Rex found clues, led him to the mask fragment, the glove, saved him from pursuers. Without Rex, they'd be lost. Rex wasn't just a working dog, he was a teammate. A plan formed. Harrington felt safe. Evidence destroyed. That was his weakness. A man with nothing to hide is careless. That's when Grayson would strike. He stood, taking the report. We won't confront Vaughn directly. Too cunning. But Harrington's a pawn. He doesn't know he's exposed. Corner him. He'll make a mistake. Grayson stepped out of the makeshift office, a heavy sense of unease on his shoulders. For days, he and Rex had chased leads to prove Harper's innocence, but it still felt like fragmented pieces. No time for discouragement. The forces were too powerful. Harper's execution loomed closer. Then, like thunder on a clear day, another assassination. Victim, a prominent senator against corruption. What froze Grayson, all evidence pointed to him. Camera footage, fingerprints on the weapon, a witness. Exactly like Harper's case. Not a simple frame-up, a coordinated hunt, a hidden hand. When police raided his residence, Grayson fled out the back, Rex beside him, eyes alert. Police SUVs blocked the road, headlights sweeping. Armed agents sealed exits. Grayson whistled sharply, a signal used for years. Rex darted to a low wall, leaped over, looking back, urging him to follow. Grayson followed, gripping the wall, pulling himself over. Rex waited on the other side. They sprinted into a dark alley, footsteps pounding behind them. Running through the city was tough, especially with the police force on his tail. But Grayson had an advantage. Rex. Unlike humans, Rex had an extraordinary survival instinct, sensing danger far ahead. He was Grayson's second pair of eyes. Grayson fought for steady breath, mind racing. He couldn't just run aimlessly. He needed a hiding place, a spot to turn the tables. But as he planned, Rex stopped, ears perked, sniffing. "What is it, boy?" Grayson whispered. Rex didn't reply, just stood still, then darted in a different direction. Grayson hesitated, then trusted the dog. He followed Rex, his feet sinking with its stride, through narrow alleys, past deserted lots. They stopped before an abandoned warehouse. Rex barked softly, scratching the rusty metal door, signaling this was the place. Grayson gently pushed the door. It creaked open into darkness. The air was thick with oil, burnt plastic, chemicals. Dim light from ceiling cracks revealed sprawling equipment. In the center, something froze him, a row of high-tech machinery with biological masks on a metal table. Grayson stepped closer, eyes locked on the intricate masks, each perfect, every wrinkle, contour terrifyingly lifelike. What sent a chill down his spine? A mask of his own face. No more evidence needed. This is how Black Widow framed Harper. Now, they were using the same trick on him. Someone wearing this mask, impersonating him, committed the murder. Rex growled suddenly, making Grayson jump. The dog backed up, eyes on a dark corner. A faint sound reached him, a barely audible footstep. Grayson held his breath, drawing his gun, aiming at the corner. "Come out, or I shoot!" His voice was low, sharp. No response. Then a shadow slithered through a gap in metal cabinets, trying to sneak towards a back door. Grayson fired a warning shot. The bullet hit the wall inches from the figure, stopping him. The man raised his hands, turning. Hooded, face half lit. Grayson didn't know him, but the man knew him. He smirked, voice mocking. "Shouldn't have come here. Hayes! Before Grayson could react, the man threw something, a smoke grenade. White smoke billowed, obscuring the room. The man fled in the cover. Rex barked furiously, trying to chase, but Grayson held him back. The man was gone, but evidence remained. Grayson's gaze fell to the mass. He had proof. He looked at Rex, still growling. Grayson knelt, patting his head. "You saved me again, old friend," he murmured. "But it's not over. If they made these masks to frame him, they planned something worse." Grayson clenched his fist. Battle wasn't over, but he wasn't alone. Rex led him here. He was certain Rex would lead him to the final truth. While Grayson and Ethan searched outside, Harper, the falsely accused officer, faced her own battle inside prison. Darkness encased her cold cell. Harper Calloway sat quietly on the stiff metal bed. Harsh yellow light from the bulb cast shadows on the bars and cement floor. Air was thick with mold, rust, sweat. How many days she'd lost count. Time was restless sleeps and waking captivity, truth replaying like a broken record. Harper didn't fear death, but injustice. She'd believed in the system, fought for justice. Now, it had abandoned her, cornered her with a death sentence. No one believed her innocence, questioned the perfect evidence. She was a pawn sacrificed in a game she didn't understand. But not everyone turned away. One resisted, one wouldn't let her be taken Rex. Thinking of him, Harper closed her eyes, gripping the thin blanket. She couldn't forget Rex dragged from court, barking, desperate, raging. He wouldn't accept the sentence, just as she wouldn't accept being framed. Rex was the only one who knew she was innocent. That hurt most. Where was her dog cared for or locked away? Harper never feared for herself, but for Rex. Not just a dog, a warrior, companion, irreplaceable. She remembered training him as a pup, bright-eyed, loyal, but headstrong. The day he passed his first search test, she hugged him, patted him, gave a treat. He looked so proud, tail wagging. Who would pat Rex now? Who would call him best dog? The thought of him alone, confused, abandoned, made her want to scream, "No, not like that." She didn't believe he'd be abandoned, but feared those behind this wouldn't leave him alone. They knew Rex was her last link to truth. If they could eliminate Harper, would they spare Rex? Her heart twisted, picturing him trapped, uncared for, aching for her, picturing him at cage bars, waiting for her. She couldn't return unless she escaped. Harper clenched her fists. She had to fight, against all odds. She couldn't let her life be taken unjustly. More importantly, she couldn't leave Rex alone, couldn't let him bear the pain of losing his trusted companion. She breathed deep, clearing her mind. One thing learned as a cop, always a loophole, always a way to turn the tables. Given time, she had to claim it. Outside. No one believed her, but one person fought for her. A canine, a loyal companion. For Rex, for herself. Harper knew she couldn't give up. Darkness in her cell was heavy, swallowing faint hallway light. Harper lay still, eyes wide, staring at the cracked ceiling. She counted every day, hour. She once believed in justice, the system she served. Now, framed. She knew truth didn't matter as much as what the powerful wanted believed. Long nights were endless nightmares, no trusted teammates, no one to hear her defense. But one thought consumed her: Rex, her K9, her loyal companion who never abandoned her. What was he doing, cared for, or locked away? Lonely. Harper rolled over, trying to sleep, mind tangled with Rex. She remembered working together, him warning her of danger. If he were here, he'd be barking, not letting anyone near her. That thought made her more alert. Cell door opening pulled Harper from thoughts. A guard stepped in, pushing a food tray, bowl of cold soup, stale bread, water. Long ago, she stopped caring about taste. Today, hesitation, a vague unease, like Rex sensing invisible danger. Harper took the tray, staring at the soup. Not hungry, but exhaustion urged her to eat. As she raised the spoon, a voice, not eating Martha, the woman on the next bed, glared at her tray. Harper shrugged. Spoon down. Not hungry. Martha narrowed her eyes, grabbed the tray. I'll take it. She gulped the soup, chewed bread. Harper watched silently. Maybe it was her last meal. Minutes later, Martha coughed, light at first, then violent, doubling her over, hands clutching her throat. Harper sensed wrongness. Martha! She jumped up, moved closer. Martha didn't answer. Face pale, eyes wide with terror, breathing labored. She collapsed, frothing, body convulsing. Harper froze, heart racing, staring at spilled food. A terrifying truth formed: someone tried to kill her. Outside, rapid footsteps. Guards rushed in. One checked Martha's pulse, turned to Harper. Suspicious. What happened? Voice cold. Harper stared at Martha's lifeless body, then at the food tray. A chill. It should have been me. Harper swallowed, breathed deep. She looked directly at the guard, voice low, firm. I don't know. She took my food. Then this. The guard glanced at other prisoners, signaled for medical team. Harper stayed still, dread filling her chest. Not an accident. Someone tried to kill her. Who? Why, no need to ask. She knew. Vaughn, Harrington, or both. They wanted her dead before she proved innocence. What about Rex? If they silenced her, would they do the same to Rex? Possibility made her blood boil. Rex always protected her. Now, even not beside her, he saved her again. If not for thinking of him, she'd have hesitated eating. She clenched fists. They thought she was weak. Easy target. Wrong. If they wanted her dead quietly, she wouldn't give them a second chance. Harper looked through bars, down endless hallway, breathed deep, whispered, I won't let them win. Michael Harrington stood in the dimly lit office, weak light casting shadows over his tense face. Motionless, he flipped pages of Harper Calloway's file. Every word image was his creation, evidence fabricated to frame her. Now, it was unraveling. Phone vibrated. He knew the caller. Breathing deep, he answered calmly. Listen up. Richard Vaughn's low voice crackled. No greeting. Situation's bad. Calloway's alive. Grayson found something that could flip the case. Harrington held his breath. Anticipated this, but Vaughn's confirmation chilled him. What evidence? Harrington asked, voice dry. A biological mask printer. Vaughn gritted his teeth. He found where they're made. If he links it to the murders, everything collapses. He can prove Harper Calloway was framed. Harrington's heart quickened. He knew the gravity. If Grayson presented this, not only Vaughn, but he too would be investigated. Years of manipulating evidence, covering Black Widow, exposed. What do we do? Voice shaky. Clean it up, Vaughn said slowly. Words like cold knives. Calloway dies immediately. Harrington gripped the phone tighter, knuckles white. He'd known Harper must be eliminated, but not so soon. Original plan, keep her jailed until case faded, then stage an accident. Vaughn was losing patience. I've tried twice, Harrington said, referring to poisoning in a staged prison fight. But she's too cautious. Then don't give her a chance, Vaughn interrupted, voice cold. Execution moved up. I've arranged it. 3 days. Harper Calloway will be executed. Harrington frowned. Not that easy. Procedures. Think I haven't accounted for that. Vaughn cut in. Threat veiled. Spoken to prison officials. Approval granted. Reason, potential threat. Killer like her doesn't deserve another day. Harrington swallowed. Vaughn was always ahead. He had to comply. But even with the plan, something felt off. Grayson, he asked. Vaughn chuckled darkly. He may have evidence, but no time. Just need to be faster. Harrington fell silent, mind racing. If smooth, Harper would be dead before Grayson presented evidence. If something went wrong, worried, Vaughn mocked. Harrington clenched his fist. No, I'll handle it. Then do it, Vaughn said, hanging up. Harrington put phone down, exhaled, involved in countless schemes. But this unease was new. Calloway wasn't easy, survived previous attempts. Grayson, he wouldn't stop easily. He rose, left the office for another room controlling Harper's information flow. Plan must be smooth. No loose ends. But focused on eliminating Harper, Harrington didn't know Grayson raced against time. Not alone. Rex, sharp instincts, on the trail. When the police dog smelled danger, he wouldn't stop. Harper sat in her cramped cell corner, hands gripping knees, eyes on the cold wall. News of expedited execution filtered through guards' whispers. Not random, a setup. Forced death to bury evidence. Harper breathed deep, mind sharp, couldn't wait for miracles. No one could save her. Grayson investigated, but if she didn't act, she'd be buried. Thought of Rex, the only one who trusted her, imagined him barking furiously, dragged from court. Couldn't leave him. He was out there. She had to live for him. She had to escape, watch guards for days, memorizing patrols, camera blind spots, tiny openings. Escaping max security prison needed chaos. Glance through bars at other inmates, some harmless, some ready for violence. New animal minds in cages. Harper stood, moved to a group in the holding area, breathed deep, shoved a large, tattooed man always seeking fights. Move, he growled. Harper stood ground. Heard you only threaten weaker ones. Calm but provocative. Punch thrown. Harper ducked. Blow missed. Angered him. Others turned. Chaos erupted. Guards shouted. Alarms blared. Cell doors swung open for security. This was it. Harper sprinted for the exit, dodging punches, weaving through fighting inmates. Used chaos to reach outer hallway. Reached emergency exit. Guard lunged. No time. Punched a throat. Snatched badge. Burst through door into another hallway. Ran for parking lot. Outside, headlights swept. Alarms screamed. Patrol teams alerted. Harper spotted police car. Door open. Cop stepping out. No choice. Charged. Kicked officer's knee. Crumpled. Jumped into driver's seat. Yanked gear. Slammed accelerator. Car roared, racing through gates as bullets rang out. Couldn't run far. They'd track her. Needed escape route. Across town. Grayson in temp office. Phone buzzed. Informant Harper escaped. Heart pounded. Knew what it meant. She realized they'd kill her. Had to flee. Without plan. Caught again. Or worse, killed. Grayson sprang up, glancing at Rex. Dog tense, sensing wrongness. Go now, Grayson said, grabbing files. She gripped the steering wheel, heart pounding. Eyes darted to mirror. Police lights barely visible. Gaining fast. Cold sweat. Couldn't stop. No turning back. Only chance to live. Caught now? No chance to clear name. Police cars sped down dark road, trees blurring, suburban quiet shattered by sirens. Calculated, seeking escape, blinding headlights ahead. Instantly, instinct screamed. SUV blocked road, cut off her only route. Harper gritted teeth, slammed brakes. Tires screeched, skidding. Gripped gun, knew it wouldn't be easy. Brief silence, then familiar sound, a bark from distance. Harper whipped around, heart tightening. Familiar figures at street end. Grayson, and beside him, Rex. Dog barked loudly, eyes bright, tail wagging slightly, body taut. Ready. Couldn't believe it. Amidst chase, chaos. One thing constant, Rex was there, trusting her, ready to protect. Wave of emotion surged. Wanted to run, hug Rex, hear Grayson say it's okay, but reality was unforgiving. Police cars surrounded her, headlights swept, officers' stern voices from speakers. Harper Calloway, drop weapon, hands up. Harper froze. Hopelessness. So close to freedom. Rex barked, struggling against Grayson, as if he could run and pull her out. Grayson, tense, met her gaze briefly, a silent promise. But Harper understood, couldn't escape now. Slowly stepped back, eyes lingering on Grayson and Rex. Subtle nod, silent signal only he understood. Go. Grayson clenched fist, knew what it meant. She didn't want him to risk himself. Rex hurt, but in that glance, a promise, not the end. Harper raised hands, eyes on loyal dog. Rex barked louder. Legs froze, seeing officers swarm her, handcuffing her. Grayson held Rex back, hand on collar, couldn't stop the painful whine. Rex struggled. Heart couldn't accept Harper taken again. Harper closed eyes, breathed deep. Didn't know fate, but sure Grayson wouldn't abandon her. Rex would fight his way. Grayson clenched fist, watched Harper fade. No, not the end. If they buried Harper, he'd pull her to light. Not alone this time. Harper wasn't taken to prison, handcuffed, escorted off street. Destination wasn't prison, but another road. Darker, quieter, unease. But she held composure. No arrest warrant read, no notification. Only one reason, not a formal arrest. Car drove through empty streets beyond city limits. Harper watched, remembering road signs. Faint broken streetlights flickered on her face, reflected in cold eyes. Knew what awaited wasn't prison. Prison had rules, laws. Now, a place where law didn't exist. Car stopped at old industrial area. Dim lights eerie. Door opened. Officer yanked her out. Didn't resist. Eyes scanning for escape old buildings. Containers. Not police station. Not prison. A secret place where people vanish. Deep voice echoed from shadows. Take her inside. Harper recognized it. Richard Vaughn. Pushed into abandoned warehouse. Single bulb casting shadows. Old iron table center. Vaughn beside it in suit. Faint smile. Calloway, he said, low voice amused. Impressed me. Few break prison and get caught again? Harper didn't respond. Just cold, sharp eyes. He didn't need answer, just wanted control. Vaughn stepped closer, hands on table, studying her curiously. What do you know, calm yet threatening? Harper smirked. Don't know what you mean. Vaughn chuckled, smile not reaching eyes. Like strong wills. But even strongest have limits. Gestured, man stepped forward, forced Harper to chair. Another tied hands with thick ropes, tightening till skin raw. Dug into things not yours. Vaughn paced like predator. Grayson, your dog dug evidence. No doubt you know what they found. Harper silent, stomach twisted. Knew Grayson was on trail. Not afraid for self, prepared. But if Vaughn knew about Grayson, he was in danger. Rex, loyal, fighting to clear name. Thoughts strengthened her. Vaughn tilted head, reading mind. Thinking about Grayson, your loyal dog. Thought about them too. Unlike you. I know how to end this. Harper narrowed eyes. Chill. This is how it ends. Vaughn lowered voice. Tell me everything. Help clean mess. If not, paused. Tomorrow's your last day. Harper knew not empty threat. Vaughn had power to push execution. If threats failed, he'd kill. Raised head, met his gaze. Kill me, but not truth. Vaughn stared, then chuckled. Justice will win. Calloway justice is made by the strong. Harper silent. Knew no matter how Vaughn tried to imprison her, one person wouldn't give up Rex. Dog never betrayed her. If anyone helped Grayson find truth, it was him. Harper looked at Vaughn, unafraid. Imprison me. Slowly. But can't stop what's coming. Vaughn sneered. We'll see. Gestured. Guard put cloth bag over Harper's head. Pulled tight. Darkness. Grayson and Ethan in small temporary investigation hub. Boards covered in documents. Diagrams of Black Widow network. But Grayson focused on phone, awaiting news from sources. Something wrong. Harper captured. Yes. Should be back in prison. Logged in system. Hours passed. No official return. Ethan leaned over laptop. Checked inmate system. No sign of Harper back at prison. Grayson clenched fists. Feared this. Not taken to prison. Where only one scenario, no intention of letting her live. Stood abruptly, eyes darkening. They want to kill her. Ethan nodded, voice low. And this time, nothing stopping them. Couldn't happen. Black Widow involved. No mistakes. Eliminate Harper first chance. No time. Grayson pulled phone. Scrolled contacts. One person could help Jake Carter. Trusted officer. Rang. Gravelly voice. Grayson. Late. Harper not at prison. Flatly. Where is she? Silence. Jake not emotional, but hesitant. Listen. Jake lowered voice. Can't say much over phone. Got what you need. Grayson tightened a grip. Say it. Jake breathed deep, whispered, fearing eavesdroppers. Planted tracker on Harper before she was taken. Just in case. Didn't expect to need it. Grayson's heart raced. Coordinates. Yes, move fast. If I track her, Vaughn's people can find out. Ethan looked at Grayson. No time to waste. Grayson grabbed coat, hurried to door. Send coordinates. I'll handle it. Jake sighed. Careful, people won't hesitate to kill. Grayson hung up. Coordinates immediately appeared. Ethan glanced. Open map on laptop. Not police station. Not official facility. Abandoned industrial area 30 miles out. Grayson gritted teeth. Leave now. Ethan nodded. Closed laptop. Followed. Grayson opened car door. Soft noise behind him. Turned. Rex. Eyes glowing. Tail flicking. Heard everything. Grayson bent. Hand on head. Know you want to go? Whispered. But dangerous. Rex just looked, unwavering. Understood nothing changed mind. Ethan crossed arms. Think you can leave him, knows something's happening. Grayson silent, gazed at Rex. Understood his condition, injury not fully healed. Appeared stable, but Rex wasn't ordinary K9. Instincts extraordinary. Intuition seasoned officers envied. Crucial evidence came from Rex. Tracking trail, finding mass fragment, glove, saving him from pursuers. Everything had paw prints. Without Rex, Grayson, Ethan grasping theories, sharp instincts not chance, years of cases, chases. Above all, Rex loyal warrior, not partner, core soul. Grayson breathed deep. Seen dogs like Rex fight till last breath for partners? Loyalty was an instinct, unbreakable vow. Now, not fully recovered. Rex wanted to fight, not hunt instinct, knew Harper danger. Sensed it like humans couldn't. Grayson knelt, hand on Rex's head. Dog's breath steady, strong. No worry, fear. Rex's eyes gleamed, unwavering, waiting for decision. Grayson knew couldn't stop him. Left Rex. He'd stew, whining, staring at door, blaming Grayson for abandoning him. Deep down, Grayson knew it true. Part wanted Rex, trusted him more than anyone. Finally, Yosh nodded. All right, let's go. Rex jumped in back seat, agile, eyes determined. New mission, new Harper out there. Wouldn't stop till found her. Car sped off into night, race against time. Grayson swore, not alone this time. Grayson and Ethan drove, following GPS signal from trusted contact. Every road corner passed in silence. Air tense, closer to Harper, closer to unpredictable danger. Rex sat in back, ears up, eyes ahead. Didn't understand GPS numbers, but knew something important. Sensed Grayson's tension. Ready. Car stopped at old industrial area, dilapidated warehouse, containers. GPS showed Harper inside. Surprisingly little security. Ethan furrowed brows. Aren't they careful? Grayson squinted. 2 guards outside, chatting, rifles loose, far from imagined. High-profile Harper heavily guarded, not 2 guards. Vaughn overly confident or foolish. Grayson exchanged look with Ethan, nodded at Rex. Dog understood, dropped low, moved silently. Shadow. Grayson followed, knife drawn. Ethan behind, gun ready, guards oblivious. Rex moved like phantom, eyes glowing, focused. Few steps, surged like lightning. First guard couldn't react. Rex lunged, teeth in arm, gun dropped. No scream before Grayson punched neck, knocking him out. Second guard spun, shocked. Ethan faster, precise throat strike, choking, couldn't back away. Grayson grabbed neck, tightened grip. Guard limp, seconds. Both guards motionless, no shots, screams. Grayson knelt, patted Rex. Good job, old friend. Rex didn't bark, exhaled, eyes on warehouse door. Mission not over. Grayson glanced at Ethan, nodded. Let's go. Drag guards to shadows, disarm them. Move to door. No one else. Inside, Harper bound, wounded, eyes resolute. Unaware rescuer steps away. Vaughn gun at head. Warehouse air thick with dampness. Oil. Faint lights flickered, casting shadows. Harper bound to chair, wrists raw, forehead wound bleeding, but gaze unwavering. No fear. Vaughn stood, pistol at her head, finger near trigger. Vaughn stood before her, eyes cold, piercing, no fatigue despite hours. Tried threats, beatings, torture. Woman refused to speak. Harper lifted head, drained, eyes burning determination. Faint smile on bruised lips. Vaughn frowned. Funny Calloway snarled. Hey. Harper tilted head, voice rough but steady. Just wondering how long you'll live after killing me. Vaughn raised brow, laughed. Still don't understand you have no one. Abandoned. Harper silent, eyes locked with Vaughn. Exhaled, shook head. Wrong. One person never abandons me. Vaughn sneered, turned. Grayson won't save you. Try. Dead before he finds you. Harper silent. Hope burned. Knew Grayson wouldn't give up. Most reassuring Rex. Dog never left side. Knew he was fighting to find her. Thought made her stronger. Vaughn sighed. Patience gone. Thought Harper would break. No, stared with unblinking gaze, like he was nothing. No, Calloway, smirked. Admires stubbornness. This is end. Grinned, pushed gun closer, just as trigger pull, shadow shot like lightning. High-pitched scream shattered silence. Rex lunged at Vaughn from side, teeth sinking into gun arm. Vaughn roared in pain. Grip faltered. Shot rang out. Missed. Harper jerked, bound a chair. Vaughn struggled to shake Rex. Dog held firm, teeth deep, blood-soaking sleeve. Screamed, viciously kicked Rex across room. Dog slammed hard, rolled, stopped. Low growl, struggled up, eyes glaring. Grayson, Ethan sees chance. Grayson burst from cover, gun raised. Drop gun, barked. Vaughn, arm bloody, refused. Staggered up, reached for fallen gun. Despite pain, Rex surged again. Straight for gun, leaped, slammed into Vaughn's arm. Gun flew, skidded across floor. Vaughn cursed, crawled. Rex wouldn't let him. Turned, growling, lunged again. Teeth in shoulder, dragged him down. Pain made Vaughn scream. Pounding Rex. Dog held firm, paws pinning him. Vaughn reached for knife. Grayson faster. Rushed. Kicked Vaughn's hand. Knife flew. Raised gun butt. Slammed hard against Vaughn's temple. Vaughn staggered. Eyes bulged. Collapsed. Couldn't fight. Only then did Rex release. Stayed alert, growling if Vaughn moved. Outside, police. FBI sirens blared. Lights illuminating warehouse. Dozens of agents swarmed. Surrounded area. Weapons drawn. No escape for Vaughn. Staggering back. Bloody shirt. Knew it was over. Ethan kicked door open. Signaled agents. Orders Vaughn drop weapon. Officer rushed. Forced him down. Handcuffed. Vaughn's will shattered. Wild eyes locked on Harper. Memorizing face before led away. Harper, motionless. Bruised. Too drained to react. Tired eyes, unwavering resolve. Grayson knelt to untie her. She turned to Vaughn. Voice, hoarse, sharp. Always knew you'd pay for this. Vaughn. Vaughn gritted teeth. No words. Over. Harper didn't care. Last rope cut. Exhausted body collapsed. Grayson caught her. Soft groan nearby. Harper turned. Breath caught. Rex, short distance away. Wounded. Fur matted with blood. Wounds reminder of battle. Loyal eyes never left Harper. Feared never seeing him. Here he was. Rex. Weak whisper. Rex responded. Tried to lift head, eyes glowing concern. Dragged himself closer, rested head on Harper's lap. Familiar warmth. Something broke inside. Tears fell onto blood-soaked fur. Reached, trembling, stroked matted coat. Old friend, so well done. Rex couldn't speak, tail wagged gently. Understood, still by her side. Grayson watched quietly. Not reunion. Testament to loyalty. Knew what they endured. Rex risked everything. Ethan approached, knelt. Lost blood. Vet now. Grayson nodded, didn't move. Eyes on Harper, trembling hands on Rex. Understood her feeling world turned back, but one being never abandoned. Harper breathed deep, emotions steady. Hand on Rex's head, stroking. Saved me, whispered. Always found me first. Rex exhaled softly, nudged head against hand. Grayson knelt, hand on shoulder. Get him safe now. Harper nodded, didn't rise. Stay longer. Days captive, tortured, with gentle touch, knew she had most important thing is loyalty. Ethan stood, signaled agents for ambulance. Grayson helped Harper, eyes on dog. Let's go, old friend. Rex no strength to stand, but with Grayson, few steps, every movement pained, but never looked away. Found her, mission complete, outside, lights blazed, all attention on Harper. Rex, silent, understood, not rescue, story of loyalty, bond. Risked life for love. Vaughn arrested, FBI launched investigation, dismantled Black Widow, raids, secret bases, business fronts, financial and communication records examined, new names emerged. Agents followed trail, outside hospital, sun bright. Harper felt no warmth. Hospital bed, arm bandaged, mind elsewhere. FBI raid, largest scene, targeting justice manipulators, one by one. Secret bases uncovered, hidden accounts traced, frozen, corrupt officers, safe in shadow, handcuffed, task force tireless, arrest list grew. Harper knew first time justice had chance against powerful underground, thought never lived to see day, but none mattered as much as freedom. News early, agent entered, thick file, smile. Miss Calloway, personally, exonerated. Evidence from Vaughn, Black Widow raid, no involvement, victim of plot, free. Harper felt no immediate joy, waited so long, empty, fought, ran, endured wounds. Now unsure what to do, single thought broke fog. Rex, where's Rex? Voice hoarse, eyes concerned. How is he? Agent hesitated. Vet after rescue, badly injured, past critical, monitored. Harper threw blanket off. Aching bruises and couldn't wait. Harper at treatment room threshold, hand-gripped doorframe, loyal dog motionless on bed, bandages on shoulders, legs, dried blood, wounds reminder of battle for her, throat tightened, seen Rex injured, never like this, weak, exhausted, but alive. Footsteps softly echoed. Harper approached. Rex's ears twitched, eyes opened slowly, deep gaze, unwavering loyalty. Tried to lift head, groaned. Harper knelt. Trembling hand touched fur. Hey, boy, whispered, voice thick. Rex groaned softly. Tried to rise, licked Harper's hand. Sure she was here. Bit lip, felt warmth. Everything faded. Grayson leaned against wall, arms crossed, watching. Understood Harper. Not injured K9. Comrade. Friend who didn't abandon her. Guess heard what he did. Grayson quiet. Harper fixed gaze on Rex. Nodded slightly. Know he saved me. Don't know details. Grayson sighed. Walked to chair. After capture, Rex never left. Didn't eat. Sleep. Looked at door. Waiting. Ethan and I learned Black Widow hadn't given up eliminating you. Rex first to notice being watched. Harper glanced at Grayson, concern. Ambushed, Grayson nodded. Chased. Rex saved me. Lunged at assassin. Unbalanced him. Got him down. Price paid. Nodded at bandages. Harper swallowed. Stroked fur. Saved me again. Quiet. Always. Rex blinked. Tail gave slight wag. Exhausted. Grayson continued, voice darkening. Taken to Vaughn's warehouse. Tracked device cop planted. Without Rex, couldn't get close. Spotted guards. Helped break in. No sound. Harper surprised. Did all that injured? Grayson smiled faintly. Never stopped fighting. Harper, for you. Harper breathed deep. Eyes flashed. Turned to Rex, forehead against his head. Endured too much. Old friend. Rex groaned low, eyes half closed. Knew he understood. Grayson stood, hand on Harper's shoulder. He'll recover. You too. Can't stop. Black Widow not wiped out. Harper clenched fist. Taken too much. No second chance. Grayson nodded. Start here. This time, won't give them chance to strike. Harper looked at Rex. Battle not over. Here and now. Found each other. Enough to keep fighting. Memories flooded back. Vivid. Harper reliving moments. Day met Rex. Young K9, bright eyes, passion, stubborn. Tasked training him. Thought difficult. Didn't expect Rex become partner. Only family. First crime scene. Rex knew. Not used to combat. Learned fast. Adapted quicker than teammates. Recalled drug bust. Team approached abandoned building. Rex growled, pulled leash to side door. Harper uneasy. Ordered team change position. Seconds later, criminal from corner. Knife. Rex lightning. Brought him down. Stunned everyone. Young K9, incredible instinct. Harper smiled. Tough training days. Morning runs. Drills. Not smooth. Rex refused high wall obstacle. Stood staring. Turned head, protesting. Harper patient. Sat, petted, encouraged. Hot afternoon. Rex unexpectedly leaped wall. Surprised. Realized Rex not just learning. Needed her beside him. Trust. Company. Harper looked at hand on Rex's back. Familiar fur brought peace. Dog saved her countless times. Memory never forget Rex risked life in ambush. Chasing dangerous assassin. Harper uneasy near warehouse. Couldn't back down. Rex barked, pulled hard. Harper froze. Barrage of bullets. Spot she'd stepped. Without Rex. Dead. Instantly knew not just handler, saw dog bond. Something deeper. Unshakable loyalty. Harper bowed head, chest tight. Past days of prison tortured. Abandoned. World turned back. Justice distorted. One creature unchanged Rex. Fought for her. Trusted when no one else. Without Rex, wouldn't stand here. Sorry for making you worry, hoarse whisper. Knew Rex didn't need apology. To him, never her fault. World against her. Judged. Hunted. Accused. Rex always trusted completely. Bond special. Rex low whine. Nudged closer. Head into palm. Harper stroked. Warm breath. Eased heart wounds. Grayson by door. Watching. Gaze softened. Worked with K9s. Never Rex. Things not trained loyalty. Unbreakable bond. Harper sat long. Hand on Rex. Listening to breathing. Knew fight not over. Wrongs to right. Lost everything reputation. Career. Faith. Still had Rex. Presence reminder. Fight on. Restore justice. Protect helpless. Harper breathed deep. Brushed Rex's head. Won't let them get away. Old friend. Names linked to Black Widow exposed. Arrested. One slip through Michael Harrington. Senior officer. Vast connections. Deep understanding of system. Secretly protected Black Widow. Manipulated evidence. Eliminated threats. Not accomplice. Part of machinery. Shadow figure. Puppeteer. Knew how to avoid discovery. FBI raided residence. Empty. Computers destroyed. Documents burned. No traces. Secret accounts frozen. Money withdrawn. Harrington prepared. Knew he'd be target. Man like him wouldn't run. Plan, hide, counterattack. Unease. Suspicious vanishing. Last police images left house. Different person. Not Michael Harrington. Middle-aged stranger. No records. No sudden surgery. Couldn't change appearance fast. Grayson realized Harrington used biopolymer mask. Technology Black Widow used to frame Harper. Manipulated case. Used tech to hide. No one anticipated. Man wearing any face. Blending. Hunt harder. Instant appearance change. How find him? Days followed. FBI searched everywhere. Dead ends. Left no trace. Didn't use old identity. Didn't contact organization. Grayson didn't believe Harrington vanished. Man like him had purpose. Plans. Running or waiting, while FBI intensified. Rex. K9 instincts. Acted. Injuries not healed. Stayed close to Harper. Alert. Morning. Harper reviewed reports. Rex jumped. Lunged window. Barked. Not usual. Harper sensed wrongness. Grayson rushed to yard. Rex running circles, sniffing ground. Thought flashed can't track by face. Use scent. Appearance changeable. Biological traces not. Body odor. Sweat. Pheromones. Mask can't trick. Rex could track Harrington regardless of disguise. Harper acted. He might hide nearby. Safest place. Had Rex sniff old belongings? Rex strong reaction. Barked. Darted alley. Sniffing. Harper followed. Kept pace. Rex no hesitation. Ears up. Muscles tense. Scent fresh. Harrington close. Harper scanned crowd. Suspicious behavior. Danger Harrington's changing face. Right in front. Different face. Rex stopped at food stall. Headed for man in brown coat. Hurrying through crowd. Head down. Harper noticed unusual not looking around. Wants to leave fast. Hand reached gun. Picked up pace. Stop, Harper shouted. Drew gun. Crowd startled. Turned. Man in brown coat froze. Spun. Ran. Rex block him, Harper commanded. Rex charged like arrow. Market chaos. Screaming. Scrambling. Dog ran through aisles. Tracking fugitive. Harper close behind. Feet fast on wet pavement. Harrington veered alley. Past concrete walls. Trash. New area. Dead ends. Escape. Harper gave no chance. Aimed leg. Pulled trigger. Gunshot. Harrington dodged. Bullet grazed coat. Rex almost on him. Front legs up. Tackle. Harrington. Split second. Slammed iron door. Shut behind him. Harper reached. Tried. Locked. Pushed. Cold. Empty echo. Got away, Harper muttered. Disappointment. Breathed deep. Turned to Rex. Shaking body. Fur on end. Alert. Harper clenched fists. Harrington escaped. Can't hide forever. Stood tall. Stared at metal door. Won't get far. Won't stop. Temporary FBI HQ. Harper and Eddie Grayson. Ethan strategized final capture. Traditional methods useless. Harrington erased traces. Airport tense. FBI checked passengers. Harrington's escape. Surveillance tight. Police reviewed lists. Scanned passports. Facial recognition. Harrington didn't appear. Vanished. Alarm from gate. Monitor facial recognition match. Harrington. Agents rushed. Subdued man boarding flight. Caught off guard. Harper watched. Harrington captured. Too easy. Bad feeling. Harper, Grayson near checkpoint. Normal, Rex barked. Dog tense. Passengers ahead. Instinctively. Stood. Barked. Growled. Eyes on passenger just through checkpoint. Middle-aged man. Neat. Unremarkable. Passed scan. Entered waiting area. Rex tense. Body stiffened. Tugged leash. Barked loudly. Startled people. Harper frowned. Rex never reacted without reason. Glanced at Grayson. Focused on man. Walked naturally. Moments later, sensed attention. Steps awkward. Adjusted collar. Glanced info desk. Paced. Not right, Harper thought. Regular passenger. Why nervous? Harper. Grayson ready to act. Rex lunged forward, straight for man. Harper startled. Too late. Dog leaped. Front paws hit man hard. Stumbled. Before reaction. Rex grabbed coat. Yanked. Ripping sound. Fabric torn. Something else fell. Harper. Grayson shocked. Slowed down. Thin artificial skin slipped to floor. Twisted. Revealed true face, Michael Harrington. Agents froze. Stunned. Two Harringtons, Harrington motionless. Eyes wide. Plan exposed. Not simple traitor. Master manipulator. Genius cover-up. Airport checkpoint focus on ID. Scheme decoy. Man caught resembled Harrington. Scan matched. Alert. Agents busy. Used biopolymer mask. Changed appearance. Blended. Slipped through. Didn't run. Used force. Exploited system. New flaws. Flawless plan. Until Rex. Moment exposed. Harrington fled. Gunshot. FBI agent. Bullet-pierced calf. Staggered. Fell. Grayson rushed. Pinned. Agent surrounded. Harrington screamed fury. No escape! Harper approached. Crouched. Picked up mask. Eyes narrowed. Tech framed her. Now exposed mastermind. Rex beside Harper. Tail wagging. Eyes on traitor. Mission complete. Richard Vaughn, Michael Harrington. Perfect power manipulation system. Years, not bribers. Critical links helping Black Widow survive undetected. Political hits. Cover-ups. Vaughn. Harrington operatives in shadows. Insured smooth. Traceless operations. Sophisticated system. High-level agencies couldn't uncover. Murder occurred. Black Widow cleaned scene. Manipulated evidence. Diverted investigation. Innocent person. Scapegoat. Vaughn tight control. Sensitive cases his hands. Harrington, senior inspector. Legalized reports. Traces led to favorable conclusions. Only mistake Harper Calloway. Sacrificial pawn. Vaughn orders from Black Widow Miller eliminated. Held secrets. Vaughn sought scapegoat. Police officer. Clean record. Influential enough. Public believe her culprit. Harper perfect. Seasoned detective. Strong moral code. Thorn inside. Dug into unresolved cases. Uncover truth in system. Before she could, eliminate her. Vaughn ordered Black Widow biopolymer mask tech. Perfect replica Harper. Killer wearing mask on camera at Miller scene. Irrefutable evidence. Harrington ensured forensic match Harper's prints. Fake witnesses. Perfectly staged. No loopholes. Thought Harper wouldn't resist. Didn't count on Rex. Harper honest. Sharp. Rex K9 loyalty. Intelligence. Not dog following orders. Sense things humans couldn't. Harper arrested. Rex strange behavior refused work. Stopped eating. Waiting. Grayson took him in. Rex guided him to clues. Exposed conspiracy. Persistence unraveled Black Widow. Sniffed mask piece. Proof real killer not Harper. Saved Grayson. Helped find biomask warehouse. Created fake IDs. Most importantly, uncovered Harrington at airport. Mistake thought dog couldn't change war course. Harrington panicked. Couldn't believe dog exposed him. Thought control everything evidence. Witnesses. System. Couldn't control creature loyal to owner. Bullet from FBI agent tore calf. Fell. Saw Harper. Cold eyes. Over. Vaughn arrested. Dragged warehouse. Eyes rage. No confidence. Power. Harper. Rex beside her. Watched Vaughn taken. System Vaughn. Harrington built collapsed. Black Widow no protection. Key members arrested. Financial records exposed. Justice manipulators face punishment. Harper exonerated. Freedom. Wouldn't be here without Rex. Dog fought tirelessly. Trusted. World turned back. Crouched. Stroked Rex's head. Soft groan. Eyes lit happiness. Smiled. Gratitude. Saved me again, old friend. Final verdict. Federal court, dozens of eyes. Richard Vaughn witness stand, voice trembling, confess crimes, testimony, evidence exposed Black Widow Network, manipulated justice, Michael Harrington, law protector, trial, nothing to deny, bowed head, life sentence. Days operating shadows ended. Courtroom buzzed, justice served. Outside courthouse, Harper silent, looked up, sunlight filtered, streets damp, free, no suspicion, accusation, confinement, prison left mark, almost lost everything. If not for those who stood by, Grayson approached, nodded. Did it? Voice not loud. Harper understood. Exonerated by evidence, people, Grayson, Ethan, Rex. Rex, loyal dog, beside Harper, head tilted, listening. Old wounds healed, scars remained, medals. Rex, faithful protector, strength, unspoken understanding. FBI swept remnants, system dismantled, masterminds captured, documents seized, plans exposed, no control from shadows. Harper, Grayson Medal of Courage, significant contributions, promoted. Harper, captain of special unit, experience prevent conspiracies. Grayson, sharp mind, decisive, led team hunting dangerous organizations. Rex, loyal, brave, icon, story of loyalty spread, media hailed, four-legged hero, image on national news. Animal Protection Organization used Rex's image. Honoring K-9 units. Day Rex honored hundreds of officers, citizens. Special medal. Harper bent, placed medal. Rex groaned, nuzzled, understood pride, applause, endless. Harper glanced at Grayson, understood thoughts, faced challenges, fought truth, standing among honorees. Worth it. Sky clear, sunlight on square. Rex raised head, eyes shining. Harper smiled. Future, Grayson, Rex beside her. Fight for justice. Story of Harper Calloway, Rex, journey for justice, loyalty, trust, persistence. World where truth twisted, justice manipulated, loyalty of dog, guiding light, exposing dark forces, bringing light,